evening. My name is the Fet. I'm on Skull Badwater EU1 with Alarm Copter.
Hello. Hopefully with good audio this time.
Yeah, sorry. Previously was on here, but unfortunately due to technical problems we had to abandon the first part of this game. Now anyway, standard rules apply. If you don't understand our voices, please go on the to the main menu. Go to the E with the X through it, and that brings up a list of all the people on the server, and you can choose to mute people. There are various tutorials I can hand out to help you cope with my voice, but it's relatively easy. Now anyway, today I think from the previous game we are seeing a little bit more sensible on teams, but people are still wanting to use that demo man.
Yeah, red is looking a lot better. Blue, not so much.
3, 2,
Yeah.
1.
Now let's see what's going on here. Well, I know we're seeing more heavies today this time. You know, nothing changed for the heavy, but you know, I do want to see some Nastashas. If you really want to butt hurt these demo men today, bring out Nastasha. Slow these guys down.
As if they're not butt hurt already enough.
Yep, no, yeah. There's a lot of butt hurt about stickies. Maybe they'll get changed, but personally, I felt it's a nice balance in the right direction. Maybe a bit excessive, but you know, they were just a jack of all trades weapon, which were a bit too good.
And yet, no one was butthurt about Short Circuit.
Oh no, there was so much butthurt back in the day, but then they got it right. They got it right towards the end. You can't use dispensers anymore with it, so you know.
Red are putting up a way better game than last time round, though. I mean, I think the heavy and medic combo may be attributing to that somewhat. I mean, you know, a standard team seems to be working the magic quite nicely.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was never in doubt. Like, oh, you have shield, which basically allows you to charge everywhere. I am invulnerable, motherfucker. What are you going to do? You're never going to beat the old Uber charge. It's the best strat of the game. Now, I mean, let's see what's going on here. Blue are trying to break in. They're having a bit of trouble here. I mean, previous blue team on the game we had before, they moved in with no problem. But, you know, Cart is moving up, but not so assuredly.
Yeah, I mean, they've managed to sneak it out of the tunnel, but yeah, I think Red are going to put up a much better fight than we saw last time round. I mean, you know, it is at the point now where Red could feasibly hold it for this long.
Yeah, the other thing is now the Cart's been pushed to the other side of the tunnel. It's difficult to get to use as cover or healing. Ooh, wild camera there. Sorry about that. On YouTube. Okay, now. Hop 'em there. Still knowing how to play Demo Man, which is fire over cover, hit sentries from behind, hit sentries over cover. Still the old tactics still work in this game.
Yeah, taking out that sentry could be quite a good decision there. I think Blue might be in with quite a good chance now, especially considering they've managed to kill off a few members of Red as well.
Now, thing is, right, the problem with sentries are still going to be the primary counter of the Demo Knight now, because you know they don't have the really good means to take out sentries anymore. Now, sticky launchers are great for that. Nades can do it, but you need to hit them. For the time being, though, are Red going to hold that roof while Blue's already on it? This is not looking good for Red. I mean, I remember back in the day, this used to be held so quickly. I mean, teams would back up nicely onto the roof and hold it, but now Blue teams get it every time.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I feel like some maps, they just kind of... You know, there's old ways of playing maps and there's new ways of playing maps, and it feels like some of the new ways aren't quite as good, and it just seems to be that most teams will opt for the new option, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the times when, you know, that roof used to be fortified to buggery, like 3 sentries up there covering all the exits, and you know, teams would barely get past point B. I remember this used to be the difficult point, and it no longer is, it's easy. But to be fair, I think with familiarization, people are used to using the back end of this map, and you know, they know how to use it now.
Yeah, although that said, I mean, I don't feel like it's used enough. It's very rare that you see, like, obviously you don't want a whole team running through there, but you want to see a good 2 or 3 people, I'd say, going around that way and actually coming up with a decent flank against, well, either team. In fact, it can be used by both sides of the game. So yeah, I don't feel like it's taken advantage enough, or as well as it should be done.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, personally, I love using this back end area. I mean, if you're playing classic Demo Man or more Nady Demo Man, it's a really fun area to use. It's also Soldier's playground, this area with all the verticals. But here come Blue. They are trying to break in though. It's not looking good. And Janny, yeah, oh, lock and load. Yeah, that'll do it. That does the job.
Yeah, that worked nicely, but I don't know. I think they had a little bit of trouble there. I mean, possibly a little bit too much shield and sword action there.
Yeah, perhaps. You know, Homeless Heavy trying to use an Anastasha there. So I take it to go for the medic straight away. How did he not hit the medic? I don't know. Natasha, okay. The amount of people who get butthurt about that, I don't know. I don't know why they do, but they do. Let's see what's going on here. Well, now for me it's that tenuous second, third point. If the blue team can't push as well, they can get mired defensively. But from the looks of it, they're charging in, dying pretty quick.
Yeah, Red are putting up an okay fight, but really they just haven't made a good defensive line. They've kind of basically just left themselves with nothing to rely on, really. I mean, this point to me looks like it's probably done.
And there goes, you know, look at that Uber, Stickies, still works. You know, it's not that bad. I mean, but you know, the old tactics still work, really. I mean, I think that's the thing people kind of forget. The thing I keep seeing a lot in this game, and especially this game in particular, people keep worrying about the comp scene. I'm like, well, why are you worrying about the comp scene? This game was never meant for comp, not really. You know, I mean, that's the thing. This game's really meant for fun, and the new shield, it's very fun. It might need nerf, you know, because sometimes it's not too fun. It's just too easy or something like that. But you know, the stickies were always a little bit OP.
One thing I'm looking forward to is the fact that I think it's going to make the Scottish Resistance a lot more of an ideal choice now, because there's less of a downside to it, really, when compared to the standard sticky launcher now. I mean, beforehand there was pretty much no point whatsoever to use it. Standard sticky was just, you know, straight away better. But now, it could work. I'd like to see people make use of that more often now.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, to me, it's my least favourite way of promoting a weapon, by making something is competitive rubbish. But you know, you don't mean rubbishified. But the Scottish Resistance, though, yeah, from what I've seen from numbers and that, yeah, it is the sentry killer in some ways now with the arm time. But anyway, back to the game. I mean, okay, we're looking at 8 minutes here. You know, red team can still win this. They are using sentries. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, too many times we see team not using sentries because they're all playing Demo Man. But, you know, there goes Popham there. Yeah, try to push up the cart. Now this is where blue team gets stuck, trying to get the cart down the hill and getting around all those sentries. All the predictable sentry spots in this map.
Yeah, this is basically a replacement for the roof area at the second point, really. I mean, this is generally where you see most of the game take place. Most times. Yeah,
I mean, it can get stuck in other locations, and to be honest, that's kind of why I don't like Badwater so much anymore. I mean, the second point is not as well defended as it used to be, and it always ends up on the last point really being the fulcrum of the action. It's just not so good.
It's certainly no Upward.
Oh god, no. Upward's the new pro payload map, although my heart always lies in Gold Rush. We've seen the Demo Knights come back, and there they get massacred again. Yeah, they do charge at the cart, they come across sentries, and they kind of died. But yeah, one thing we are seeing, there's a lot of Demo Man hate going on right now. They're really not liking these Demo Men coming around. Okay, one thing we are seeing though, Red are really getting back into their game. They're defending nicely. It's looking good for them.
Yeah, they're actually managing to just about push it back, which I think this is the first time we've seen that this round. Most of their game so far has been pretty much retreating back to a safe place.
Yeah, now finally up against the wall. I think they're being forced to fight, and they're using sentries this time. The problem is sometimes, you know, the problem I have with engineers is that they can be simultaneously like using all their skill on the sentry and just letting that do all the work. But then, you know, you need some good ones actually to help out with the defense, because that was respawn times.
Yeah, I feel like in an area like this, it's fairly well enclosed. It's sort of, for me, most of the sort of standard NG spots at this point in the game are kind of sort of, you know, pop your sentry down and basically just forget about it. And, you know, you could have NGs running around actually helping shoot people, but I don't know, you just never tend to see that in a game anymore, unless they're on blue.
Off chat though, one thing Hazatron has a really weird habit of chronically picking up his sentry. I don't know what he's up to with that. I mean, it's weird. I think he's trying to make sure he doesn't get taken down predictably, but he's going to get shot in the face if he does that. Anyway, back to, if you want to hear you know, what's going on behind the scenes, yeah, you want to subscribe. Shameless plug in progress, but you know, 5 minutes on the clock. Red team are doing well here. They're bringing it back. They're the comeback kid. I think they can, you know, I think they can do this actually, because blue team hasn't thrown out an Uber yet. We saw one Uber at the beginning, but they haven't thrown out another one since.
Yeah, I think the problem may be that blue medics may not have anything ideal to actually put an Uber on.
Now
that's what it's looking like to me.
Well, that's going to be the exact problem right here. It's like, oh, it's a down man. Oh, wait, it's a shield guy. What am I supposed to do with you? You know, I mean, to be fair, they can use their nade launchers. Not the most easiest of things to use. Personally, I'm a two-shot lock and load man, so, you know, I'm reliable for that. Popcorp there, just showing the power of the shield. Man, he is going through people. But yeah, I mean, that's personally though, I've always found this half Zatoichi a little bit OP for its ability. And the fact it can randomly crit as well. I mean, if they kind of tweak that a bit, I'd be more comfortable with it, but with these two things now, it is such an OP combo of charge, kill somebody, charge again, kill somebody. Don't worry about health, so you get that back every time.
Yeah, I mean, there's a very vague sort of kind of luck reliance on it, but I kind of find once you get into the swing of it, that's pretty much it. You're guaranteed like at least 4 or 5 kills in a row, because you know, once you just get into the swing of charge kill, that's basically it.
Yep, that's it right there. I'm watching Hazatron right there. Now, I think he's wisely picked up his sentry to go somewhere else. I mean, I don't know what he was doing, building a sentry right in the open there at long range. We saw it before. It doesn't work. You're liable to get sniped off from there, but somehow he didn't get sniped. But yeah, no, we're seeing the Daremen come out and play. But here's the thing, they're not nailing this objective. They're not getting in there, taking down sentries, because they're not equipped for it. You still need the sticky launcher for that. What was the nerfs to the stock weapons? To be fair, I think that's the only stock weapon that's been nerfed, from my recollection. I don't remember any other ones being nerfed.
I think the only other nerfs were a general heavy nerf rather than any particular weapon, in that he has a damage ramp up before he starts dealing full damage, and also a sentry damage ramp up as well, but no specific weapon nerfs as such. It was more based on classes. Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, I've been playing heavy and I'm like, to be honest, I could be playing this game and I'm going, wait, there's a nerf? When did this happen? You know, I've been playing fine ever since, and nobody's really complained about the heavy nerf, and it might be simply a very tiny tweak, because people do complain about heavies being OP and for noobs at the same time. Oh, we're seeing... Oh, hang on, what's going on here? I think we saw a down man using a sticky launcher, and it's working. There it goes. Now, see, this is why you need stickies in your life. It gets rid of the sentries with a medic, you know.
Yeah, regardless of a nerf, it still does exactly what it was intended to do.
Blow up shit with lots of stuff. You know, I think, can Blue Pub push this? Do they have power of... It's looking good. Oh, that's it. I think it's all hands to the pump for Red here. I think they've got complacent.
Yeah, Blue are out in this full force en masse right next to the cart. And half of Red are dead as well. Ooh. I think Blue really just need to jump on the cart, but they kind of aren't.
Yeah, I think... I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay, it's Kikeng there. I can't barely get to his name. Kirkeng, that's it. Pushing that... Being Battle Medic... But Hazatron's out there now, being the Stasher Heavy. Pretty much no to your, you know, Demo Man bullshit. And it's taken down by a sticky bomb! Oh, the irony. That'll happen though. I mean, if people just remember the ways, how do stickies? Stickies are still good, I think. They're not completely useless unless you're somebody competitive, and you know, it's apparently the worst thing ever since the M1.
If anything, it's opened up more choices for players, really. I think it's kind of gotten rid of a status quo. And
yep.
I think Blue...
Oh, wow. Now, they should have gotten that cart faster. And that puff... Oh, lovely puff. They should have gotten that cart faster, but that was a lovely puff. Nice win.